Friends, welcome back to the Messed Up Movies Podcast, the podcast celebrating movies and filmmakers that embrace the insane, the unhinged, the outrageous, the off-kilter, and the all-around kind of fun you can't take your eyes off of. You can try, you can't. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this exciting film draft. We're just doing a film draft, a messed up film festival draft. That's it.
No makers this
Third time was the charm, yeah. Sam hates the director drafts.
I just feel like the director is the least important part of any movie.
That's insane. Sorry, Heath. Heath, earmuffs.
Wow. Should I just leave?
Yeah, Heath, earmuffs. Okay, so here are the rules on a fantasy draft, guys. Any movie that's selected cannot be taken by any of the adjacent or following players. We do a fantasy football-style snake draft, so if you pick last in a round, you will get 2 picks, and you'll start the new round, right? Remember, guys, when you're voting, we try to find a theme for all of our movies. So not just picking our 4 favorites of whatever, but picking things that can play together as an actual film festival. You guys will decide who you would give your money to and want to sit through their film festival. So I'm your host, Griffey, joined as always by Heath, Sam, Sophia. Welcome back, guys. It's been exciting. By the time this is out, we'll have calculated who's crushing and who's not. Who needs to step their fucking film festival.
We are also separated for this one.
You guys are separated again, yeah.
Back on our own.
I'm imagining by the time this comes out, you will realize that 2 heads were not better than 1.
We definitely won the last one.
I think we definitely won.
Yeah.
You think you definitely won the Wes Craven?
There's no competition
Definitely?
in that. Yeah, 100%.
I think Heath and I had very good stakes to the throne on that, so we'll have to see.
I can't even remember your movies, so.
Well, that's because Sam's old and pees a lot. Neither here nor there. So before we get started, guys, if you would be so kind, go to Indiegogo, find the Mr. Cream Jeans Hidey Hole campaign. That's our movie. All 4 of us here are making our first feature film. You have to type in Mr. Cream Jeans because Indiegogo has fucking shadow banned us for rubber dicks. This is a crime against humanity. If you want to stand for free speech, which I thought was important to us Americans, go find Mr. Cream Jeans on Indiegogo and donate. We have been crushing. We've hit our goals. But the more we can get, the better we can make the movie, the more easily we can get it out into the world. And we think this movie will be fun, and we cannot wait to share this with the world. Your guys' help has been incredible, but we still need more, right? So donations and contributions are huge. Letting friends know on your social media networks, texting your friends who love movies and would want to help us make our first Messed Up movie. That means the world to us. Also, go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon. Best way to support this show. Tons of Patreon exclusives over there. You get a vote on those exclusives, mini-series. You can help make this show the show you want it to be. We have a great community over there. Thank you, patrons, for those of you who are listening. We love you. You're the backbone of this show. All right. We're here today. We have a more wide open category. We thought we would do a most messed up film festival featuring movies from the 2000s. So this is a most messed up 2000s film festival draft, right? The rules are any movie from the year 2000 to 2009 is eligible. Remember, we are trying to come up with some kind of theme as we draft. We're going to roll off again. I have won every single one of these.
Yeah.
I got a 10, so that's beatable. Heath got a 4. Sam got a 15.
Yeah.
Sophia got a 2.
What the fuck?
So, we're going to go...
This
All
is
right,
the only one I
Sam and
didn't
Sophia.
need to go first on this one.
Sophia got a 15. Heath got a 10. So we're going to go counterclockwise from Sam.
All right. So I'm starting it off. I believe
Sam?
it's called the aughts, right? Isn't that 2000, 2009, the aughts?
I've always called it the aughts.
The aughts.
The
right.
aughts
What does
it
that
is,
mean?
right?
So the film
I don't
festival...
know what that means.
I don't know why they
I've never heard that.
You never
there was
heard
all
that?
this
No.
debate. There was all this debate after the year 2000 of what this decade would be called. Like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. That was also obvious. What would this era be called? Now, in retrospect, it's like maybe the Bush era, the 2000s.
The start of a new millennium. It was a big time.
Millennial.
Post...
aughts.
But at the time, someone had the idea that this might be the aughts. So
yes.
Okay.
I don't
Hold
know
on,
why.
Sam. Before we go, what do we remember about horror movies from the 2000s? If I were to paint a brief picture, right? We had the Y2K scare almost directly into 9/11.
Yeah.
We were a scared people. What I
Yeah.
remember most about this era were Japanese remakes, right? We had a huge influx of Japanese horror, J-horror, that got remade for the States.
And the
And
birth of
torture porn. So
Yes.
much torture porn. I think we were so disenchanted and disillusioned. and Mean. We
and,
had
and the French movies.
The French Extreme Wave.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of really fucking mean, brutal kinds of movies coming through.
Everybody wanted to see what's underside.
Everyone had that same kind of like almost rust color filter over a lot of things. Yep. This was we were very angry people, right? This was after we burned down Woodstock. Something was in the water, and people were not happy at the start of this millennium. That was 1999 or 2000, yeah.
Oh, 2000?
I think it was 2000 flat, yeah.
Oh, damn, okay.
So we had a lot of tension and anger in the air is what I remember. Does anyone else remember anything from this era?
I was like 5 years old, so no.
So you were happy. You were just
I had
was
just
fine,
discovered
yeah.
marijuana. So.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So that was good for the world.
We had the invasion of Iraq.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were in
Oh,
college.
Yeah.
So we were getting
senior.
a little bit like, oh, we got to start, having opinions on things and having, looking at the world.
I was
'cause we're about to be
legitimately
part of-
worried. I was a senior in high school, and I thought, shit, I might
Oh.
not get to go to college.
Yeah.
I thought I was
Oh,
going
yeah,
to get
get
drafted.
Well, my
Before.
senior year was 9/11. We watched it in high school on my senior year, and we were a country town, and we all thought for sure we're getting drafted to World War III.
Yeah.
We thought it was on, and I'll never forget just watching the TV for like 10 days in a row, waiting for any updates to try to explain what just happened. It was fucking wild time. So this was an interesting era for us. So Sam, you have the first pick.
All right, that leads us into my first pick. And my first pick is going to be torture porn, Hostel.
Hostel.
I feel like Hostel kind of set the benchmark for that whole era, the new era of horror.
I think that's a reasonable argument. I have to say, I have always fucking despised the torture porn genre.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were better than others, but I thought this was like my least favorite movement in horror.
It blew my mind. So I'm not a huge fan of watching torture porn and all that, but what blew my mind was in almost every movie up to this point, all the deaths are quick. They're almost not personal. And this movie made it seem like you felt everything that these people were feeling.
Yeah.
It was a slow
Well, it was
death.
like European tourists
Yeah.
get captured
Yeah.
specifically to get put in a room where rich people just pay money to do whatever the hell they want to. And it had some of the nastiest shit I had ever seen in a movie to that day. I'll never forget the Achilles,
The Achilles,
the eyeball
yeah.
stuff. Like, this was a...
The fingers.
Yeah, well, it was the first horror movie I ever went to in the theater where I was just kind of looking around and I was like, do we think this is fun?
Are we enjoying
Yeah,
this?
are we enjoying
Yeah.
ourselves? Like, it felt like you were getting tortured
Yeah.
in the theater to
It
me.
felt super
which
real.
apparently a lot of people liked at this time because there were so many torture porn movies.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Hostel was that first horror movie for
kicked
me
it
where I
off.
was like, I don't know if I like
Yeah.
these movies that much
So
anymore.
the way I look at it is the reason we go to movies is to escape, right? And
Yeah, and
what-
this is not escapism.
No, what better way to escape than death?
Well, death
It's the
without
ultimate
torture,
escape.
you
Right.
might have me.
Yeah.
I would rather stay if it meant getting tortured.
I also thought this movie did a good job of so leading up to this, like the late 90s, early 2000s, it was a lot of like the Euro Trip. It was like American Pie, all the buddy comedy thing. And this started off as like a buddy comedy.
It did. That's a good point.
And it just switched. Like
It had that kind of classic flavor, yeah.
It had a Dusk Till Dawn feeling.
I mean,
sort
it
of.
was pretty ripe for the era that we were in with all of the paranoia about what would happen to us in other countries.
Yeah,
we had a
that's
lot
true.
of like nationalism going on.
Yeah.
And then also the torture part because we had Abu Ghraib.
Abu Ghraib.
We
Yeah,
were literally
we were
torturing
the torturers,
people.
but
Yeah.
we were afraid other people were going to do it back to us.
And also the economical class level of it too. It's all the rich people are torturing these poor tourists, you know.
Yeah.
And there-
again, I think that stands head and shoulders above most of the imitators. It was just, I remember being in the theater and like, am I that committed to being a horror movie fan that I'm going to do this from now
Right.
on? And thankfully it burned out and we got back to more enjoyable flights of fancy.
I do recall a lot of people confused that for a Quentin Tarantino movie. It was one of the early movies that he...
Because I think he produced...
He did.
I don't think he even produced
He
it.
like helped it get into the world though.
It was a...
He was almost Eli Roth's like patron.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino presents Hostel.
Presents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it before or after Saw?
Saw was 05, and they've same
Yeah.
year, I believe. No, Saw was
No,
04. Saw
Hostel,
was...
Hostel was 7, I think. wasn't
No, it was 05.
it? Was it really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Hostel was 2005, Saw was 2004.
Okay.
But another one that was, in the torture porn genre.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Okay.
Sam's coming out swinging. He's
Well, that was
angry.
a wild trip. I'm going to take things a little lighter. My number one pick is Jennifer's Body.
Yes.
Good one.
We love Megan Fox.
Over there, behind Griffey's head.
Oh, there she is. Yes, our beautiful queen.
She's here.
Demonic entity eating boys in the woods.
Great pick.
Great soundtrack. I feel like
Diablo Cody, right?
Yeah. Her
Fresh
second
off
script.
of Juno.
straight out. What's the guy? Kyle Gallner.
Kyle Gallner.
He's blown up.
He's like
in
a
the
Sam
last
Neill.
5
Like
years.
has become
So
like
good.
a true scream
Yeah.
king. Like
Yeah.
he's in so many good horror movies. now.
Phenomenal. I think that like as a female too, watching that, like it was cool to see like an anti-hero in a way, being female and being this badass, like, because we were all rooting for Megan Fox. I know we weren't supposed
Is she
to
a
be.
demon? Is
but
she a demon in
She's
this?
she's a
Yeah,
demon.
because the
She
band
gets
tries
possessed
to summon a demon and kill
to
her
the devil's hole or
yeah,
whatever.
in this like weird spiral
Yeah.
waterfall thing, and the
Okay.
band kills her, and then they get famous, and she becomes possessed, and her best friend Needy. That's kind of the thing I remember about. Is like Needy, I feel like needs to be more.
She was the
sympathetic.
annoying part.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
should have
Yeah.
been like, "Hey, my friend got
Sexually
SA'd
assaulted,
and
yeah.
infested with a demon," and
Yeah.
Needy's just like, "You suck. You're trying to
Yeah.
take Chip," and I was like, "Hey, come on, man. Like, let's have a little more." Yeah, because I was with Jennifer the whole time.
Yeah, all of us were.
Because they did the classic because she was the insanely hot captain of the cheerleader. Mm-hmm. The movie plays on this. They made her the monster that all horror movies make, the hot cheerleader. And I thought that it was kind of fun to play against that trope.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought that movie was fucking brilliant when that came out. And again, it's another one of those. I remember the first time we all saw Megan Fox and Transformers come up from under that hood of the car. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yep.
And when I saw her in Jennifer's body, I was like, oh my God.
Well, and like not Jennifer, sorry, Megan Fox herself is a very like witchy, like weirdo
Yeah.
girl.
She
so
has
to see her in her
She kind
element,
of took that Angelina Jolie like
100%,
like dark
yeah.
magic woman, right?
Yes,
Where you're like,
yes.
there's something like evil about her.
Yeah.
Angelina
that I
had
like.
that on lockdown. You're right.
Angelina
And
had that
she's-
lot. Well, I'll never forget. They had that. Her and Billy Bob went to like the Oscars, and they're like, "We just fucked in the limo," and he was wearing a vial of her blood, and she was
Yep.
licking him, and I was just like, "I hope they got them girls at Ball State." You know what I mean? And then I ended up with a Seventh Heaven wife.
I
Neither
did.
here nor there.
It's not that great.
Yeah, Sam did date a witch.
Yeah.
We won't say
okay.
her name in case
It's
she can
weird.
cast spells across the country. Yeah,
Anyways.
Sam woke up after a tryst, a night of amour, and she was lighting candles and doing rituals and shit, and it was too much for
That
him.
was
Are
our
you
first
serious?
night together. We lasted a couple more months.
So you lied. You told me that you ran away and were scared.
No.
You were still getting summoned. You were
a little
getting
bit.
summoned,
A little
dude.
bit.
at least she didn't get eaten in the woods. You know,
That's true.
hindsight.
And I felt bad at the end. But anyways, we'll talk about something else.
I'm perfectly fine
Well-
to stay on this.
We're good.
Okay, I'm gonna pick one of my favorite movies of the era, an anthology horror film, which I love anthologies. Mr. Cream Cheese is an anthology. It's probably my second or third favorite subgenre of horror. I love collections of short stories. I also think it's fun because it gives you a lot of flavor. I think this is actually the greatest horror anthology of all time. I'm taking Trick or Treat. Because Sam has become an icon, right? The little spirit of Halloween. Every single story in that is an absolute banger. They all cross with each other, right? They're all happening kind of simultaneously in the same night. So there's not this big separation between them. The streamlined effect of that, I love the werewolf. I love the principal who's carving jack-o'-lanterns. I love the bus driver story. I thought it was so much fun. And I do think it is the gold standard for horror anthologies. Compared with any movie you could think of. So I'm going to take Trick or Treat.
Nice pick.
I love that movie when it came out. It's actually one of those movies I can't believe we've not gotten another one.
So I think I have a weird take on that though. I hadn't seen it until last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I think it got overly hyped for me and overly marketed for me because like every time I go to Spirit Halloween, I'd
Just
see it
Sam
around. And
everywhere,
then
yeah.
my partner Josh was like, "You've never seen Trick or Treat? What the?"
Also, that was a movie, if I remember correctly, when it came out, it sort of got a short shrift by the studio. They sort of dumped it. And I think if you're a horror fan in that era, there was this movement to like, let's save Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
And so people are very protective of that movie. And maybe, that's
a
why
part
it's
of it,
a bit
yeah.
overhyped. Yeah.
I think if you go back, though, for an anthology, the writing is so sharp. The kills are great. The overall, and it's also one of those anthologies, it's the perfect Halloween night movie.
It is the perfect
Because it is,
Halloween night
it's
movie, yeah.
set at Halloween.
Yep.
Everyone's trick or treating. We've got the costumes. It's so much fun, and it's the kind of movie now that I watch every single year on Halloween, and I think it's a banger. I love that movie. Go ahead, Heath.
Oh boy. So this is really hard for me because I have a lot on my list that I know I'm going to have to leave. And if I'm thinking about what makes a themed festival, and now I'm on the turn, so I have to lock this in. So it pains me to have to commit to a direction, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going with my first pick, American Psycho.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Oh, that
was one of mine.
2000?
2000.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
The first time we were introduced to adult Christian Bale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just,
Fresh off Newsies.
man, doing push-ups
Christian
and
Bale
sit-ups.
sells papes, dude.
Yeah, he does.
One of the... And if you've read the book too, I think it's just a genius film adaptation. And they're going to do another one. I almost am... There's a lot that you can take from the book, right? They had to leave a lot on the table. But I thought it was just such a streamlined, perfect exploration of that era.
Was that Mary Lambert?
Mary Harron.
Mary Harron movie, yeah.
And
Great
Genevieve Tucker, something like that. She was the writer. So women taking on the subject matter that Bret Easton Ellis, who's kind of, arguably one of the more misogynistic authors that we have.
He maybe thought of that book more as idealized than it should have been.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He's a gay man, so I think a lot of his perspective is unique in terms of where he was going with that movie. But I thought it was genius what the women did with this in making Patrick Bateman just such this fucking nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just love that decision. He's such a nerd and pathetic when it all comes down to it. And there's just so much in that. I've seen it so many times, and every time it gets better.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
So,
Great choice.
So I'm choosing that one.
Just that iconic Huey Lewis. That's the thing I always think about when he talks about the nerdiest band of the 80s, Huey Lewis in the news.
Right.
Great scene.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul!
And,
He does that little
so
dance.
threatened by all the other guys.
Yeah.
It also has one of my favorite lines in
sets
movie
him off.
history of dialogue, which is when they're having the threesome, he's watching himself
In
fuck in the mirror,
yep.
and he goes, Sabrina, don't look at it. It's not going to eat itself. He's telling her to eat the other prostitute's ass. It's so great.
Apparently he based his performance off of Tom Cruise.
Yes.
I've
I
heard
saw
that.
that
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Totally tracks.
Checks out.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Makes
Great
perfect
stuff.
sense.
I mean, if he didn't kill everyone, he would have been an okay guy.
Yeah, sure. If he wasn't a
We don't
serial
even know
killer.
if he killed anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That is the trick of the movie.
He is really just a bit, like he said, he's just a big nerd if he didn't murder all
Yeah,
those people.
once he gets to the chainsaw kill, you're like, there's no way this is real. And that is the only thing that hurts the movie to me. Except for when you think of it, it is just this man breaking. Mm-hmm. That I think the movie's so strong thematically, you can get over the fact that maybe none of it happened. Mm-hmm. Which feels a little bit like a cop-out.
Also,
But then they made sequels.
Yeah. Well, they made one, right?
They did the sequel where it was
What's
Mila
her toes?
Kunis.
Yeah.
Mila Kunis.
She
Yeah.
was the psycho.
She was the psycho.
what a great cast too, by the way. If you go back and you look at
I know, yeah.
those actors,
Jared Leto was in it.
Jared Leto, Reese Witherspoon,
Jared Leto basing his psycho on himself. His future.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe just plays the detective.
Yep.
I always
Oh,
forget about him in
yeah.
that.
God,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. Yeah, so many great character actors too. Okay, so I am going in a certain direction here, and I'll reveal it all at the end. But my next pick is going to be the 2007 remake of his own movie, Funny Games.
Wow.
Haneke.
Okay.
Okay.
Remake with Naomi Watts and
Michael Pitt.
Michael Pitt,
Yep.
Brady Corbet.
So let me ask, do you
Corbett?
like the remake of Funny Games better than the original?
I do.
See,
But I saw the remake first.
I think it's kind of this Americanized McDonald's version of it. And I think it's insane the same filmmaker made it and then somehow made it feel more hollow and American, which is crazy. Because I think that first Funny Games is an absolute lightning bolt of a movie.
I just think the sequel
And I think
or
maybe-
the remake is more refined and
Maybe
the
once
acting's
you
way
see
better.
one, that's the one you'll just like.
Yeah, I think that's
I just
Maybe.
think that the vibe of what that movie's about was so much more captured in the European original.
maybe. I don't know.
It felt a little smoothed out and Americanized to me. But you know what's weird? Our friend Josh Lobo, he yelled at me and was talking about how this was a vastly superior movie. Most people I know prefer the American remake to the original. I think it's considered one of the best remakes, and it's by the same guy.
It's mostly
pretty
shot
similar,
for shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really. I think the whole attempt was just bringing it to an American audience because it wasn't overlooked.
To Heath's point, I think they just
Great
made
movie.
it look better.
And then better performances.
Better performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had already seen the gimmick, so it just felt a little more
Yeah.
stage production-y to me. It felt like it had lost that punk rock edge
Like a
that the
cash
first
in.
one
But if you
has.
had seen the remake for the first time.
Well, yeah, like Heath did.
Yeah.
maybe that wouldn't have bothered me, right? You would have been like, oh, it's just a more polished version of the first one.
Vastly different than See No Evil.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, so what about funny games do you like so much? Because I do see a theme forming in your festival.
Funny Games is it's one of the darkest movies, I think. Yeah. The one thing that I struggle with it is, the whole point of it is turning the camera on ourselves as the audience. Like Hitchcock did this all the time, right? Like, we're voyeurs. We can't help ourselves. Like, we want to see the bad thing that's going to happen. That's why we watch horror movies. It's a little bit of a slapping us on the hand for liking what we like. Yeah. But it's so brilliantly constructed in that way because, I want to see the death and the destruction and the depravity of it all. Because these villains are just so awful, but charming. And it's horrifying. And we're still sort of in that torture porn era. Yeah. And so you have
again, two movies where it's the character talking through the screen at us.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so that's the part that it sort of says, okay, we're not like these other torture porn movies. We're making a point. We are asking you to grapple with what you've been watching, what you've been consuming, and thinking about. Like the whole scene where he picks up the remote and he rewinds it. Yeah. We're going to redo this. We have control.
You can't win at all.
Yeah. And it's making a point that we as the audience have this control, and we can choose whether or not we actually, totally buy into this and lose our humanity, or we actually analyze what we're watching and be responsible. Responsible audience.
Right.
So that part of it annoys me a little because it's a little, didactic, I guess, but at the same time, it's kind of smart and
brilliantly executed. Yeah. Okay, that's a good pick. So I think I have a theme. It's going to be a little harder to sell. I'm picking what realistically the movie in the 2000s that affected me the most in the horror genre is The Ring.
Yeah.
I remember going to the theater and seeing The Ring. It blew my fucking mind apart. The remake of The Ring, right? Fucking loved this movie.
So
it
good.
was shot beautifully. The story, the lore,
Naomi Campbell.
the terrifying little girl, the ending, and that famous scene of her crawling out of the TV. Yeah. I saw it, called my girlfriend, now wife, and said, meet me at the theater in 2.5 hours, drove from Muncie back to Lafayette, so I could go to the midnight screening with her and my best friend and spent the whole movie watching them watch what I had just watched. Because it's one of the best horror movies to me. The thing I've always loved about them is when you see the really good ones, you can't wait to run to your friends and be like, you gotta fucking watch this right now. That was the most excited I ever was to share a horror movie with my friends. I remember when the DVD came out and it had if you
special
type
feature
666, it would take over the Blu-ray menu. And it would play The Ring tape. And I did it to my wife. And she ran upstairs screaming, no. And I was like, it's fucking fake, stop. So many great memories. I remember waking up. I had fallen asleep watching TV. And it actually went to the static. And waking up to that. And I was one of those kids who left my laundry everywhere. And just being fucking terrified. This movie rocked me. I loved the aesthetic of the J-horror movies. That we didn't have streaming yet. I had not been exposed to all of these movies, and it sent me on this rabbit hole of finding all these great J-horror movies. But The Ring was my favorite horror movie of the 2000s, bar none. It affected me. It rocked me. I loved that movie.
My friend that I was with, we sat in the very back row, and when she crawled out of the TV, he crawled up the wall. like almost blocked the projector. I'm serious.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and it seems quaint now, and I wonder what younger kids are going to be like, what's
it's
a VHS?
It's still terrifying.
But I think it's one of those most classic ghost stories.
Well, so Josh and I just rewatched it before the Days of the Dead pod because I had her as my wild card.
Samara.
And I was like, I haven't seen this in years. Let's watch it. We turned all the lights out. We turned our little hue light thing on like a low green and watched it.
Yeah, that green aesthetic.
Any small sound, I was like, what? And then that ending scene when she crawls out, like, you know how it's gonna end, but it still gets you every time.
Dude, what got me was the very first time you see that girl in the closet and her face is like,
Yeah, where her head
yeah.
I was like, what the
yeah.
hell?
One of the
Yeah.
all-time.
What did she do to her? Yeah, holy
And
shit.
you never find out what she does. That's
never
the whole
know.
thing.
Well,
But she's
like,
obviously twisting.
essentially it's
Yeah.
fear that like melts them
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
like a putty.
One of the
Yeah.
great opening scenes too.
Beautiful
Yeah.
score.
Similarly structured to the opening scene of Scream.
Very similar.
But
Oh, yeah.
the suspense is just
The Gore Verbinski
Excellent.
just had such an absolute like pinpoint control of every frame of that movie.
Yeah.
And again, I love Ringu as well. I do prefer the remake. Also, I saw it first. I get a lot of people do not agree with me. I thought it was just fucking gorgeous. It was like watching paintings, man. I love that movie. All right, Sophia, what do you got?
In a similar vein, this is one of the first ever horror movies I ever saw. My father was watching it on TV, and I happened into the living room, and he's like, I don't know if you should be watching this. And I'm like, I'm going to watch it. And I definitely regretted it at the time. 13 Ghosts.
Oh.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also a remake.
Freaking terror. And also another bisexual awakening for me with the lovely bloody woman. But yeah.
Yeah, the
Horrifi-
princess ghost.
Yes, the princess
Yeah, she
ghost.
really caught
That
on.
was a weird one where you're like, God, the tits are doing a lot of work.
Yeah,
But she
yeah.
is clearly manifesting a lot of
A lot
trauma.
of anger,
the
a lot of
face is kind of
trauma.
fucked up. But,
No,
you
see,
know.
I was
I
in.
mean, she had a gorgeous face.
Gorgeous. She
But
just
anyway,
had,
But
like,
didn't she have like cuts across?
well,
it?
yeah, because
Well,
she
yeah,
has
again,
a bad
you feel bad for her
backstory,
trauma.
yeah.
But
Okay.
you're still like, I don't
But
know what the
I think
movie
I was like
wants me to
7
do
at the
here.
time. Yeah. So like as a 7-year-old, I'm just like, whoa. But it was horrifying to see all these different like.
7-year-old.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Listen,
Dude,
there's an
the
age
one in
difference.
that is the mom and the baby, where it's the giant obese
he's
man
just-
in the diaper
Yep.
and then the little mom. They've got the jackal, the
jackal was
sledgehammer.
terrifying.
Dude,
The
ghost in that-
unstoppable dude, the
Matthew
juggernaut.
Lillard's
Juggernaut?
performance too. He
See,
did
Matthew
phenomenal.
Lillard, another one. Anytime Matthew Lillard's in a horror movie, you know it's going to be
It's gonna be good. Yeah. You can.
Yeah,
had a
our
great
dear
cast.
fucking friend
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Love him. Great fucking,
awesome.
great
Yeah.
fucking actor. Again, one of the most incredible sets in a horror movie ever.
Phenomenal.
That glass house was
and
mind
then
blowing.
at the end when they're in the middle with the sphere thing and you have all the different bad job describing it, but if you've seen it, you know all the different hoops going around
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
dad has
like
to
a
jump in to
gyroscope
protect the
thing.
Right,
yeah.
Who was the old guy? Was it
Tony
wasn't Liam.
Shalhoub,
Yeah,
and
Tony
then
Shalhoub. Right.
the
I just
guy
know
who
him from
played
Spy Kids.
Moriarty in Amadeus. Great fucking character
Oh, yeah.
actor.
I just remember Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Not Moriarty.
Yeah.
That's
Or no, that's
Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Salieri.
Salieri, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great one. 13
Phenomenal.
Ghost Rules.
That is a good one.
And then
So-
hopefully we're gonna get this TV show soon. We'll see. If
Oh,
that,
is there a
See,
Yeah.
that's one of those. You're like,
It's
that's
been-
designed for a TV show.
It's. I think it'd be a
Each
great
ghost
show.
is its own
Yep.
TV
So
show.
that is reminding me now that the aughts were kind of in horror,
The
marked
aughts.
by three
F. Murray Abraham.
F. Murray
sorry.
Abraham. Marked by three movements. We've already talked about the torture
Mm-hmm.
porn. We've talked about the J horror remakes and just remakes in general.
Yeah.
Because there was the J horror stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was Platinum Dunes that was remaking.
House of Wax.
No, that was
No. That was another one. But
the
yeah,
Platinum Dunes was doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
that's right.
Last House on the Left. I think the
remake,
Crazies, like
Yeah.
a lot. So that was the Michael
the
Bay
Crazies?
backed. But they were like taking on all these classic 70s and 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they ended up. I think they also did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake again. Speaking of Kyle Gallner,
Yeah.
but then there was the Dark Castle,
Yeah.
where they were remaking all those William Castle movies from the
Yep.
50s.
Yep.
So you had, maybe it was even started in the late 90s, but by 13 Ghosts they were like
Fully
right
evolved
in it.
into it,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there was
Haunting
the-
Hill House.
yeah.
That was the Liam Neeson one.
Liam Neeson's.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was The Haunting.
The Haunting.
The one with Jeffrey Rush, where he basically plays
Oh shit! Yeah.
Vincent Price.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many remakes
Yeah.
in the 2000s, but again, it wasn't torture porn, so we were down.
We were so happy with it.
13 Ghost Rules. All right, Sam,
Good
you've
job.
got two.
Oh, I get two. I'm the
You're the
turnaround
turn
guy?
because you started.
Perfect then. All right. Well, I'm going to take this in a different direction, and I believe this movie was 2009, The Strangers.
Ooh, yep.
The Strangers.
That
okay.
was,
2009.
I don't think that was 09. I think it was
08?
earlier.
08, maybe?
I think it was 08.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, so it falls into the odds.
2008. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
in the
And I feel like this movie kind of... Because the big thing about this movie was, at the very start of the movie, they said, this is based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look into it...
Which it was not.
yeah, when you look
None
into
of
it...
them are.
Yeah, when you actually look into it, it says it's loosely based on home invasions in general.
Yeah, all of them. And you're like,
But-
yeah, that is one of the because you have a real things that could happen to you in real life.
Yes.
Although if you rewatch that movie, those killers do a lot of supernatural style movements and shit, which is very annoying in the film.
Oh, yeah.
But again, this is the movie I watched it with Amy, and she goes, "That's the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen."
Because it's
That's
just a
right.
serial killer.
The home,
It's because she's like, that could just happen to you.
Yeah.
Lindsay
Anytime.
says the same thing.
Yeah.
The home invasion.
And I feel like this movie coincided with the the big rise of true crime podcasts and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like everyone just got super into it, and it just goes right along
Investigation Discovery.
Investigation,
That was my
yeah.
hungover morning channel. Southern Fried Homicide.
with it. Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah. Again, that movie's probably most famous for... It has one of the most famous horror movie lines ever.
Yeah.
Where Liv Tyler's, "Why are you doing this to us?" Because you were home.
'Cause you were
you
home.
answered the door.
Yeah.
Right? It's a scary premise. I don't know that movie executes for me exactly. It does have Dennis from Always Sunny in it, which is a really funny early cameo. But it's one of those highly affecting... Like, that movie really scared the shit out of people. But weirdly, when I watch it, I prefer Strangers Pray at Night.
Me too.
It's more
So
of a
much better.
souped-up, stylistic kind of neon trailer park slasher. It feels more like a movie. It feels fake, like they're more slashery now. And in the first one, I thought the killers skirted that. Like, they were just doing things that defied logic.
Yeah.
But the premise was so real that I think maybe that was just me over-analyzing it. But again... I do think Sam might add the two most "this could happen to me"
I
scary
will say,
movies
though,
of the 2000s.
Strangers Chapter 1 was so horrible that
Yes.
it has almost ruined the entire franchise.
And
for
I
me.
saw the trailer for part 2, and I
Oh
was
my
like, "You're gonna make us do this
Wait,
again?"
oh, you
Three
mean the
times.
newest
Three
movie?
times.
They
the
did a new
newest one.
trilogy of it,
yeah.
shot it
So,
all at once, and the first one's
horrible.
like got
The only
She's
one I've
sitting in the
watched-
chair. They got us.
The only one I've watched is Strangers Pray at Night, and I thought that one was pretty good.
Pray at Night was
Pray at
so
Night's
good.
great.
That's one of my favorites.
Chapter 1.
Sophia made me choke
so
with her
sorry.
impression. I love that. Yeah. We're
So yeah, kind of what I'm going with on mine are kind of like the start of a new style, almost.
That's fair.
That's bold.
That's bold.
Oh.
Both of these are styles we'd already had.
Yeah, but not like
Not a home invasion. Well, when
Home
have we
Invasion
seen...
was like 5,000 movies.
Yeah, you had Straw
When a
Dogs.
Stranger Calls in the 70s was Home Invasion.
Oh, okay.
Well, even mine, Funny Games is Home
Yeah, I
Invasion.
think you're going with "this could happen to you." These are like real scares.
Hey, I'll tell you what I'm going with, brother.
Oh my god, he put his
All
pants
All
right,
right,
on.
yeah,
now he's got
Sam
an
Hogan, why don't you
attitude.
pick your next one?
All right, so
Hey, brother.
my next one is, I mean, I'm kind of torn, man, because I really want
Like
to go.
Natalie Imbruglia?
I want,
That was the 90s, actually, yeah.
I want to go with Brotherhood of the Wolf because that's just one of my favorite movies ever.
You don't
That's
want
a
that
cool
movie.
flick.
Do it.
You don't want that movie.
But I
listen
feel like
to
I need to
Griffey.
go with Final Destination to win.
No.
Wow, Final Destination.
No, I need another.
So that is another start of an awesome franchise.
It was. I
phenomenal.
vividly remember being in the
Yeah.
theater for that.
Do
People
I
were
even
going
need to
nuts.
explain why I picked it? It's just
No,
like
it's one of the greatest premises, and what I think is really fun about that. Again, when you watch the whole franchise, my kids just got into it, so we watched them all in a row. There's a lot of like big mythological religion questions that movie poses that are insane and beyond stupid.
Yeah.
But
especially for teenagers.
premise and then payoff of the nonstop Rube Goldberg kind of fucking traps that this game lays out.
That's what it was
And
all
it's
about.
always these insane misdirects. If it's one of these three things and they never die how you think they are, it always starts with like liquids and fires and where the payoffs of all of these kills are fucking incredible.
Right.
Like one of the best franchises pound for pound.
It's very similar to Saw in the sense that we don't really care why this is happening to them. We just want to see the mechanics of how it's happening.
Well, and
Yeah.
also the
Yeah.
inevitability of it.
The
It's
inevitability.
like, okay, we figured out it's about the seating pattern. So
Right.
we
Yeah.
know who's next on the list.
Oh no, yeah, and you're just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Todd coming back. It is one of those like I feel like Death's being like a little bit of a dramatic bitch. And it's like you could just,
But
know,
why
give them
not,
heart
man?
attacks. Yeah.
Why wouldn't Death be a dramatic bitch?
Why is he
Exactly.
spilling so much water and shit? Like, what? You don't have anything better to do? Don't you kill, like, thousands of us a day? What are you doing?
I mean,
How does
he's
he have
omniscient.
this much free time?
He's all around doing it all at once.
Yeah, and who's giving them the fucking visions? We never got into that.
That was
in
the
it.
first movie
That
I
is the
remember
weird part.
that really just made the bus smash iconic because we didn't really have the means to do it in special effects up to that point.
Yeah.
And when that happened in the theater, people lost their
Oh,
mind.
dude. Crazy.
Now it's just such a trope.
And then, you know what, though? I would say the only thing I would dock you on, Sam, what does everyone remember from the franchise? The opening of Final Destination 2. That's one of the most famous openings in any horror movie ever. That log terrified us in only a way that the Jaws soundtrack terrified us.
But the first one had Devon Sawa.
It did.
That's a good counter.
Facts.
That's fucking good counter.
But even to the point where the new movie, where
Actually, the second one did too.
How long had it been since we'd had a Final Destination movie? At least 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the iconic imagery that they
still
bring
alive.
back
Yeah.
was the logs.
Yeah. Also, Devon Sawa was not in part 2.
Wasn't
they
he?
found Ali Larder in the asylum, the padded room, and Sawa had died by like a brick hitting him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, walking around. Not bad, Sam. Not bad.
Thank you.
All right, Sophia.
All of my takes have been taken. But the next one is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. And one of my all-time favorite directors. House of a Thousand Corpses.
Great
Rob
fucking
Zombie.
Robbie.
The All-American choice.
Yeah.
People hate on it all the time for
Why?
being a Texas.
Did they really?
The main argument, which I can kind of understand, but also not, is like it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff.
It's an homage.
That's how I take it.
Yeah.
I think
Zombie
it's so
pays
much its own
respects,
thing.
and it's so much its own thing. And I think the amount of gore in it is a lot higher, and I think that Rob takes it to a level that had not been done before when it comes to like that dirty, filthy, like you just leave the theater or
He's
the
like the
screen.
Family Guy of horror. He just keeps hitting you with the jokes over and fucking
The
over.
abusive.
I've never
father
heard him
of
and
horror.
Seth MacFarlane tied together in such
It's too
a
much,
way.
Rob.
You
It's too
just
much.
feel dirty after watching
So-
that movie.
I get the Texas Chainsaw riff, right?
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
we're going to do that, you can't say Tarantino's ever made
Correct.
a good movie.
Right,
all
right,
his
right.
movies are homages and riffs
To
from other
another
things
movie.
that he recombines
And they're
in-
all overblown.
in his vision, right? Like that's all movie. All the stories have been told.
Well, and my
It's
favorite
how you
parts,
recombine them.
it feels like one big Rob Zombie like music video to me, which I think
Yes.
is why I like
Insane style. They have
Yep.
some fun lore.
it. The cuts between
Create a
like
good character. I also
the
think that movie
soundtrack.
gets docked because for two things I think people struggle with Rob Zombie. I think everyone hates his wife as an actor. I've never minded her.
She's good at some
I also
things.
was like, if you're a famous rock star who has a wife you actually like,
she's
and you
gonna
want to
be
put her in
your
your movies, I feel like you've earned that. Fine. She's not that bad. She does
No.
this baby doll voice that I think people find her grating.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think back to that opening breakfast scene in Rob Zombie's Halloween,
Well, we don't count Halloween.
where the guy's like, "Oh, I want to like check out your daughter's ass," and there's like an abrasiveness.
We're not talking
to
about
how you sit with his character.
Halloween,
I
yeah.
like Rob Zombie's
No, he's
Halloween
very good
movies,
at writing
but I
hillbillies.
think he writes this like overly abrasive because
Yeah.
you think about the scene in this when they have dinner and the uncle's telling the jokes and he's got food coming out. I think there's just a quality to his stuff that grates people wrong.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's the aesthetic
I think it's the charm
he
to
was
his
creating,
movies.
and that's what that family would be like.
That's what
Yeah.
the family.
That
I feel like that's
family's
what
not
Rob
trying to
Zombie's
put on
family is
airs
probably
for
like.
you.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
I give points
Yeah, with
for
his maids and his fucking chef and all that.
the
He's
title
talking like
alone goes hard.
One of the best
Yeah.
titles
House
ever.
of a Thousand
He wrote
Corpses.
songs for the movie,
Yeah.
which like
They had a
Pussy
whole
Liquor
offshoot
Kills
of
Pretty
like
handy to have Rob
Dr.
Zombie as
Satan
Yeah.
Underground
Dr.
near
Satan.
there.
And also,
Captain Spaulding,
Come on
R.I.P.
now.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite horror movie performances
I feel
ever.
like people don't give Dr. Satan enough credit for being a like massive horror icon villain. Like
I think because
he
Captain
was
Spaulding
so
took his
scary.
lunch.
Yeah,
in
there
there.
were too
Captain
many
Spaulding
characters.
took that movie.
But that's also
It
a
was
good
good.
another fucking
And
kudos to
Baby
him
Doll.
is there was so many iconic characters that it was hard to focus on who was supposed to be the main villain because you had
Yeah.
so many villains that were all such well-rounded villains
And
with their
bringing
own
Bill
motivations
Moseley back,
and
right? Giving
Bill
it that
Moseley.
Texas Chainsaw
oh my
connection.
gosh, with that nasty
Dr.
hair.
Satan, Captain Spaulding, the entire Firefly family. Early Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Come on
The
now.
deputy who
that's
gets
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
That
Shield
sequence
days.
where it like
Oh,
holds
the
on
crane
the
shot. The crane shot.
I was
you can't
blown away
breathe.
by the maturity of his directing,
Yes.
which everyone kind of shits on. I was like, for a first feature, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Insane.
Also, I'll never forget being at Ozfest at Deer Creek. The storms are rolling in. They're doing these like tornado. We thought it was actual tornado sirens. There were these red lights on the stage before Rob Zombie played, and they lowered a screen and played the trailer.
Oh.
And at the end, he peels the face. I'm the devil. I'm here to do the devil's
Devil's work.
And we were all just like, what the fuck was that? Because this was before we were like really
Yeah.
on the internet a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's the first time I heard or saw of it. And I just remember the whole rest of the night, I sat through
Set
that
that
and then
tone.
Ozzy. And on the way home, I was like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck? I couldn't
What
stop
year
thinking about
was this? 2000?
2000.
Well, it was one of those they had made it, and then it took a long
Okay,
time to
because
get
I
it
feel
out.
Yeah.
like that was a 90s movie.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie
No,
was
it
very
came out in
late
the
No,
90s.
It
I was
came
in
out
high
in
school.
2003.
2000.
But that was one of
really?
those, I think
Okay.
it was on the shelf for like 4 years.
Yeah.
But it took a long, because even after I saw that trailer, it took a while. Yeah, I fucking love House of a Thousand Corpses. Nice. All right, I got to get clever here.
Good job, Sophia.
You guys are taking a lot of good ones.
Arch nemesis.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to pick... Oh, God, there's so many I love. This is tough. I'm trying to think of a theme, right? So I've got Trick or Treat and The Ring, so I'm kind of doing legends.
He already did The Ring.
I'm doing lore. I have The Ring.
Oh, no. You did The Ring?
I'm doing lore. So you know what? I'm going to go with Antichrist.
Ooh.
Okay.
I fucking love this movie. I have been a huge Lars von Trier movie fan, not person fan. I love his movies. I think he's such an incredible visual storyteller. Mm-hmm. I love it. Antichrist was one of those wild fucking in-theater experience. It felt like I was in the middle of a satanic ritual. Yeah. That opening with the kid falling out the window.
That slow motion black and white opening.
Dude, when they get out in the woods. And then I'll never forget my dear brother who I lost last year, Skylar, was one of the funniest people to take to the movies because he had the least amount of movie couth of anyone. I'll never forget seeing No Country for Old Men. There were 3 of us in the theater and the 2 guys in front of us. And of course, Skylar sat right behind us, so we were all in a bunch. And he left his cell phone ringer on, which was Papa Roach Last Resort.
Oh, no.
And the guys turned around to yell at him. He's like, what are you going to do, little bitch? Started kicking there. And was like ready to fight. Jeez. And then he answered the phone in the middle of No Country for Old Men. He's like, what? I'm at this boring gay movie. And I was like, you can't go to movies with me. Aww. My friend Cloud came out to LA to visit us, and we went and saw this at the New Art, this one-screen art house theater. And Skylar's watching it, and he is not an artsy man. He was essentially a tall Ronnie from Jersey Shore. Yeah. And he's sitting there just like squirming in his seat. He has no idea what this European assault is on him. And I just remember that when she jerks blood out of his dick as she hit him with the log, he stood up in the theater, and my brother was not a PC man. And he just goes, I swear to God, if there's any more gay shit! Doesn't finish the thought or sentence. Everyone turns around and looks at this giant behemoth saying it. He storms out to the lobby, came back in with 4 boxes of candy chocolates, ate it, watched the movie, and then at the end he goes, pretty wild ride. Just like, that's my favorite movie review ever. Aww. But I think that movie fucking rips. It feels real unsafe. And there's a beautiful Renaissance painting virtuosity of that movie I love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I've got like the terrifying lore or story festival going.
It's a good one. Yeah. Love that one. Okay, so I'm going to go with May.
Ooh, great movie. The Lucky McKee movie, May.
Lucky McKee's breakout the May. The May.
A guy that I thought was primed to be like what Ty West became.
I know.
He was so good.
The Woman?
The Woman was great. He's still really out there working. But I think...
He's doing a lot of TV.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like our Ty West.
May, which was... one of those movies that we discovered working at the video store.
Yep.
Because had no idea. I think it was very limited release. Had no idea it existed until it just kind of showed up in the mail. Like, what's this? We're going to check it out. So unnerving. You didn't quite know where it was headed. And then, of course, once it's revealed, it all makes sense. And one of those, like, classic, like, WTF endings where the arm moves. You know, again, a lot like American Psycho. Is this really happening?
Yeah.
Is it imagined?
A lonely woman who works at a vet collecting pieces of boys she likes to make a friend.
Yeah.
Why not?
Such great casting.
Did you just say why not?
Yeah, why not?
Angela Bettis with that weird eye.
Social norms.
She was so good. She was so good. She was in his Masters of Horror too. Loved that pairing. Those two were great together.
May is just an all-timer, and I think it has stood the test of time. People have discovered it over and over. And it's so good.
Dare I jinx him on his last pick? This is Heath's best list he's ever done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is Heath's best list. All right, what do you have for your finale?
Oh, shit, that's right. Okay, this is tough because I have two movies that are fighting against each other here. And I think I know which one I have to go with, and that is Donnie Darko.
Ooh.
Heath blew it.
Damn it, I didn't even...
I blew it?
Bleed
no,
blew it.
Donnie Darko is great.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Donnie Darko.
You would hate Donnie Darko.
I haven't watched it
You're
since college.
uncultured
I
and
watched
dumb.
it once, hated it. And they made Patrick Swayze a diddler, which was Roadhouse God. Hated that. And then everyone in the dorm loved it except for me. So I feel like I've just been entrenched and maybe I was wrong and I'm just too scared to go back.
I think you would have hated my other one I was considering too, which was Elephant. Not really a horror film. But neither is Donnie Darko.
I don't hate that movie though. It's a brutal movie.
Oh. Anyway, Donnie Darko completes my brooding psychopath.
However, I do
think it's a pick that fans will like.
Yeah.
A lot.
I have to say... Donnie Darko is kind of garbage because essentially the entire movie didn't happen, right?
Well, no, it's a time continuum kind of
But he
story.
goes back and kills himself, so then therefore the movie never even happens.
It's a bootstrap paradox.
What's that mean?
So, as Doctor Who explains, a bootstrap paradox is a time traveler is so in love with Beethoven, right? He goes back in time, he wants to meet Beethoven, he finds him at a bar, and he's like, I'm a huge fan of yours. And Beethoven's like, what? And he goes, yeah, I have all your music. And he lays the music out, and Beethoven looks at it and is like, oh my God. And then goes home and is inspired to write Beethoven's music. So
he started his own music.
would Beethoven have done it if this time traveler not brought back? That's called a bootstrap paradox. And
Okay,
that's
so
kind
Donnie
of what
Darko's
Donnie Darko is.
Yeah,
Which came first? Were we watching the original timeline that was then interrupted and will restart? I haven't seen it in long enough to really dive into it. But yeah, I remember the time travel element.
Well, essentially he goes back to kill himself so that none of the events would have happened.
Right.
But the mood, the style, the design
bunny.
of the bunny.
Yeah.
The bunny.
I mean, that's,
And the soundtrack.
that's where
Let's be
Nightmares
fair.
were.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was incredible.
Yeah. It was a hugely popular
Duran.
movie. I don't know why. I used
You
to
ever
do
heard
that
of
a
them?
lot in the dorms. I would just dig my feet in on movies everyone liked and hate them. So maybe that was just a young
You were the original contrarian.
But
then
we
I
were
became a
getting
man of
a
the
lot
people.
of those mindfuck movies, you know,
Yeah.
like with Being John
Yeah.
Malkovich.
I also was young and I wanted a story, not like a did it not. And I think I've come to appreciate those more as I've gotten older.
Yeah, I think that was moving right from 99 when we had Being John Malkovich, Fight Club, movies like
Loved
that.
those
Yeah.
two movies. Yeah.
And, you know, Donnie Darko, American Psycho, all of these movies.
Who was the
are in
Being
line
John
with that.
Malkovich writer? What's
Charlie
his name?
Kaufman.
Yeah,
Charlie Kaufman. Yeah.
This will be Heath's
dude's
most
awesome.
popular list. He might have locked it up if I didn't pick an absolute sledgehammer here that no one else had thought of. Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I'm doing the deep magic.
That
and
was
the
going to be
deep
my
lore.
last
He
one.
psyched you out.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I literally was over here going, you don't want that. You don't want that. I Jedi mind tricked
That's
you.
such a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's got French people with kung fu, with hunting a werewolf.
Mark Damascus.
It's actually like a giant fucking robotic, like steampunk animal. And Monica Bellucci is a hot, evil witch woman. The scene where they pan up her naked body
Yes.
and her boobs turn into mountains.
I was just going to say that her
This is
boobs are
cinema.
mountains.
This is literal cinema.
Dude,
it's one of my favorite.
masterpiece.
And they found French Christopher Lambert, which I fucking love.
I think this is the only movie that dude's ever been in. I've tried to look for him.
Great. Why would you ever do another movie after you've
I was
been
like,
in
this guy's
Brotherhood of the
great.
Wolf?
Why is he only in...
Yeah, he's like, I was in one movie where I was a scientist karate master who banged Monica Bellucci. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, dude. I'm just going to live high off that.
Why not? He's probably
I
like
think
a
I
bear.
might have won it with the deep lore. These are like deep lores and stories.
The Ring counts for like 3 movies.
Yeah.
So.
That is
It's
true,
incredible.
yeah.
All right.
I can't believe
You
you
have
got
a,
the ring.
a high hill
All
to climb
right,
you to.
so-
Heath and I crushed. Sophia is on her way.
My final movie, to stick with the dirty, nasty feelings I've been laying down, Planet Terror.
Okay.
Nobody?
the
That was
Robert
such
Rodriguez?
a silence.
That's the Robert Rodriguez version. Yeah, okay.
Rose McGowan with the machine gun leg fighting off zombies.
What, so you
When
I
I
did
saw that-
like Planet Terror.
That movie
You
crushed
didn't
in the
like it?
theater.
I did like Grindhouse. My only
Grindhouse
argument
was
to
really
that
good.
would be that Death Proof beats the shit out of Planet Terror.
Well, but you.
But Planet Terror is so fun. And
It's
the
a
machine
lot
gun
of
leg.
fun. And you
when
guys
he
took
tells
my
her
other
she's
2
pregnant
movies,
because he
so-
never
Yeah.
misses.
I want to go on record as
whatever.
saying Death Proof only beats Planet Terror for film snobs. For
I
everybody
agree.
else on Earth,
I
Planet
agree.
Terror is best.
No, look, I
There's
saw
no
Grindhouse
chance.
in the theater. Planet Terror crushed.
Planet
Everybody
Terror
was going
crushed
crazy.
in the theater.
Yeah.
Everybody was
I liked it.
asleep when.
And all the
Death Proof
nerds
came on.
loved the next one.
Death
How
Proof was also
fucking
really
dare
good,
you.
Yeah.
but Planet Terror.
Yes.
Planet Terror is a great.
Planet
time.
Terror is
It's a
better
really fun
than
movie.
whatever
The
I
machine
don't-
gun leg was awesome. The moment and
Wild.
And again, what did they put on the poster?
Machine
Rose
gun
McGowan.
leg. Yeah.
That's what they put on
What
the
else are you
poster to
gonna
get
put
us
on
in
the
the
poster?
theater.
Yeah.
I like the movie. I just don't know if it's enough to defeat Brotherhood of the Wolf or Woof. Brotherhood
The
of the
Wolf?
Hey, I'm the
Woof.
one who says woof over here.
Yeah, Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Wait,
Brotherhood
so
of
are
the
we doing
Wolf.
our overall themes now, or are we?
Yeah,
gonna-
what? So you've
Yeah,
got.
you
So
gotta explain yourself.
I had to reshape mine because I also had The Ring. I also had American Psycho. I
Yeah.
also had, what was the other one that got taken? Final Destination.
Yeah.
So I have reshaped mine to people that I would hook up with on Saturday night.
Wow.
Rose
okay, so
McGowan.
Jennifer,
but only
Matthew
Saturday,
Lillard.
only Saturday
Yeah.
night?
I'm
Only on a
guessing
That's the best night.
Rainn
Okay.
Wilson from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh my god, he's such a cutie.
Who's
but
the
no,
hookup in
Baby
that?
Firefly, Sherry Moon Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Baby.
the one.
She was another... They have so many
She's
good
the one.
characters.
The
Baby
mom in that,
Firefly.
old
The
Karen
mom could
Black
have gotten
get
it too. Yeah.
that's
And
right.
Planet Terror has like 4 people you would bang.
Mainly Rose in that one.
Rose,
but
for sure.
With the machine gun
Okay,
leg.
okay.
Yeah.
So now that I see your
My theme?
your theme for me.
Sophia would show up in the missing reel.
So your theme is hot, powerful women.
Sophia's showing
Hot,
this at like a
powerful,
theater that has a bar in the lobby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people are fucking
Or
drunk
an actual
getting-
film festival where people are going to the green room, having drinks,
Yes.
coming back in, you know?
until some goddamn communists say that you're not allowed to drink vodka in the green room anymore.
The communists love
Because of
vodka.
one problem here.
Oh, no. Felicia.
Yeah. Sorry. I do
Let's not get into
apologize to
this.
Felissa
Wait,
Rose.
let's know.
I did a public apology when we talked about Sleepaway Camp.
All right.
Her and Dave Sheridan still hate me and snubbed me all year.
Let me win
Beautiful
this shit
people.
real quick.
All right.
Oh,
Sam's
damn.
throwing it down.
I'm confident. I have so many choices left.
This whole thing that I am watching is repulsive.
He put on pants and he got a lot more confident.
I've been wearing pants all day.
This was not a wardrobe change.
All right.
All right, let's
So
go, Lady Gaga.
I can't believe nobody else took Saw.
Yeah, I'm
Because
not
it
into
fucking
it.
sucks.
I don't like the Saw movies.
I love the first Saw.
Saw fucking sucks.
We can
balls.
all admit that Saw started something, though.
Yeah, a massive franchise of like
Yeah.
10 movies. Again, I don't like torture porn. And Saw is a movie that only works if you cheat like a motherfucker. I will concede, guy on the bike, little Billy, amazing fucking
Jigsaw.
icon.
Yep.
The traps were pretty cool, right? For
Even
most
the
of
bad
it.
guy being kind of a good guy is
I
kinda
liked
cool.
Tobin
Yeah.
Bell's backstory.
Yeah.
The problem is that whole fucking movie cheats and cheats and cheats to shock you. And the second time you watch it, you're just like, this is fucking dumb. The conceit of it is fine. I don't think that twist ending is grandiose as people remember.
Well, just watch it once,
There's
dog.
no way they did not know that guy was fucking breathing. There's no way that the orderly who was forced to do that would hold a gun to a child's
man.
head if he was an innocent
You're
guy.
sounding a lot like me, and I don't like it.
This is therapy for you.
Okay.
This is inversion therapy, so you
I
know
don't
what
like
we go
this.
through. Yeah, no,
quit
I
talking.
actually think Saw is the most overrated horror movie ever. I think it is
I think
it's a great
millions
premise,
upon millions
executed in one of the shittiest series of decisions I've ever seen.
of people would
I
would
fucking
disagree with
hate
you.
the Saw movies.
All right.
But
I do think Sam has maybe the most aughts list.
I think I have
Sam
the
captured
odds
the
list, baby.
stink of the era perfectly.
Stank.
Like, really, this is...
That's what
when
I do.
think back to the 2000s, Sam's list might capture what I remember not liking about it the most.
And that's what we're trying to do here, right?
Sophia's people you would want to bang list, pretty solid.
Can we run through?
Yeah,
real
so let's
quick?
go through. So
Well,
Sam...
before we go through everybody's list, I want to just go through some of the movies that we didn't get to.
Right.
all right,
I have
Sam,
a bunch.
okay, I've got
I
a
have
couple
one,
pulled
too.
up if you want me to run.
Yeah,
Okay.
rip it up.
Shaun of the Dead,
That was mine.
That- yeah,
House
I
of
had
the Devil,
Yeah, I have that.
Signs.
Signs.
Did anyone like
Signs.
Signs?
No.
No.
The Descent.
Descent.
The
No.
Descent
Wasn't
is
it
a
the
great-
second
Descent
one
was
came out?
2011, wasn't
The
it?
Descent, one.
I have that here. It's 2005.
Oh.
Yeah, Orphan,
Oh.
Let the
Orphan.
Right One In,
Yeah.
Thirst, 28 Days Later,
Yeah, that was it.
Record, The Mist, Host, all the French Extreme Waves, Ginger Snaps, Drag Me to Hell,
Drag Me to Hell. I have.
I
that.
had-
Freddy
Drag Me to
vs.
Hell.
Jason,
Leprechaun in the Hood.
30 Days and Nights, The Cell,
Dawn of the Dead
The
remake.
Cell would
yeah,
have been good.
Splice, Frailty, Hollow Man, Dogs.
I had Frailty.
There were a lot of great movies we didn't get to.
And nobody did The Grudge.
The Grudge remake.
Grudge.
I like the original Ju-On better than
Ju-On, yeah.
Two of my favorites, The Others and Open Water.
Yep.
Smaller movies. Bug, also a smaller movie. that-
Human Centipede.
Was that 2000s?
Yep. Snakes on a motherfucking plane.
No.
Yeah, From Hell.
So, not the best
I did from...
decade.
Oh, no, I didn't do
not the
from-
best decade in horror, but, you know.
A solid one nonetheless.
You look
Yeah.
back, and again, I think in the time I
Lot of
was
stuff.
like, this is the shit I'm becoming an adult to. Like, it made me mad that we were culturally bottoming out in music and movies and TV.
Well,
do look
the,
back now
the
with
90s
more
were just
finally.
peak. Not necessarily for horror, though.
Yeah.
No.
But
The
the
ni-
90s
the
were
late
peak on
90s.
I think you
everything.
can make a case
Yeah.
that the 2000s horror actually ended up being better than the 90s.
Probably.
I think 2010 plus ended up being better.
2010 plus.
Like
is
2015
solid.
till now has been as good as it's
Yeah,
ever been for
exactly.
a
Once Blumhouse got in the... Well, actually,
A24 too.
Paranormal Activity is 2000s.
Is it really?
I think that's 07.
That's
Oh,
a
did
huge
we
one.
miss
I could
Paranormal?
have picked that.
There's no
That was
way we missed
2009, dude.
it. Oof.
That had
See,
to
I
have
thought
been.
it was 10 after.
I think it was, 08 or 09, yeah.
Damn, that's
Dude,
a
that
good
would-
one.
that's
that
actually-
one, like, was one of my favorite in theater movies ever.
That's the most successful movie of all time, right?
It was the most successful independent film of
Like
all time.
percentage-wise.
For a small window, it passed Blair Witch.
Because it made like $1
And
million
then I think
percent
My Big Fat Greek
profit.
Wedding took that and ran.
Are you serious?
And now I think Skinamarink
Gross.
percentage-wise is the highest.
Yeah.
Because Skinner costs negative money to make.
Yeah. They still haven't sent me my rebate. I sent a strongly worded email in.
They owe people money.
So
for
they're
watching.
losing.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. They won. It's fine.
All right.
So that's it for the year 2000.
Are we
I win.
doing
List
your list?
recap.
Yeah.
Sam.
Got to keep this guy on.
All right,
Come on,
put your nose plugs in for Sam's list. Hostel, The Strangers, Final Destination, Saw.
That's like the best list. I'm not gonna lie.
It disgusts me to say
That's a good
Sam's
list.
gonna get a good percentage of the vote.
Yeah.
Sophia, Jennifer's Body, 13 Ghosts, House of 1,000 Corpses, Planet Terror. The
Fun.
people you'd want to bang list. Fire.
It's pretty
Now mine, for the real story lovers, Trick or Treat, The Ring, Antichrist, Brotherhood of the Wolf, classy.
That feels
Boring.
very hodgepodge.
Classy affair.
Boring.
What's the overall?
It's all about lore and mythology.
Oh, okay.
All of them have a tape or a story or a fable or a sing-song that starts them off. This is the kind of fable block, right? And then American Psycho, Funny Games, May, Donnie Darko for Heath.
The Brooding Psychopath.
I will.
That's a
I
good
will
list.
give you
That's a
guys
good
this.
list, yeah.
I have the best 4 movies,
Why do you always?
but I do feel like mine captures the decade the least.
Correct.
I agree.
Mine is not in the. You guys have done a better job
I think I
capturing
would
the
probably,
decade.
except for The Ring,
I would say
take
this
everybody
is,
else's film.
This
club.
is Heath's best list he's done. I don't know.
I would venture to guess if I had The Ring in place of Strangers, I'd definitely win.
I think The Strangers is like up
Brotherhood
there.
of the Wolf. Do not sleep on it. Griffey wins.
I think Hostel's maybe your worst pick.
You think I
Yeah.
should switch Hostel?
It's
with
the
Ring?
most 2000s movie though.
But I feel like Hostel was a bit.
I think
pretty epic
thematically
movie.
you backed into a perfect
Yeah.
kind of 2000s
Thank
list.
you.
I think everyone has good lists. I feel like it'll be a crime
Communist.
if mine gets robbed. But I probably have just won 3 in a row, so it's fine. But it's about to be 4, I feel like.
might have won
Audience,
0.
let us know in the comments, who would you actually give money to sit for 4 hours? Tortures, horns, psychos, and time travel, or real movies? You guys decide what you're into in the comments and let us know. And we will have a full impartial judgment of who won. I think this was a really good draft. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Remember, Indiegogo, find Mr. Cream Jean's hidey hole. Donations, pledges, put it on your social media. Message your friends that want to support wild, low-budget horror movies. Help us get this thing to you guys as fast and as awesome as we can. Go to the Messed Up Movies podcast so that you can help support this show. Patreon exclusives, miniseries. Help make this show exactly what you want. Get one of them hot shirts that Heath is modeling. God, they look good. Man, you will definitely get laid like you're a
Shimmy.
character in Sophia's Film Festival.
Come on now.
If you get that shirt. That is not a guarantee, but a hope. We'll see you next time.